Have you ever woken up in a place where, from the first moment you open your eyes, the scenery that you're able to see was so beautiful that you could only feel blessed for having the chance of being there? That's kind of how I felt every day I woke up on this Alaskan cruise. And I'm sure there are a lot of other beautiful places that I have not had the chance to see. But to me, from all my travels, all the places that I have seen, this is one of the most beautiful places. I used to believe that Hawaii must be the most beautiful place on earth. Well, Alaska is sure giving Hawaii a run for its money. I would say that although they are different, their beauty is probably around the same level. Hey guys, before I forget, please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to the channel if you like the type of content that I'm posting. Also comment and share with others. Thank you. Good morning, guys. We're entering Glacier Bay this morning. Very nice views. Today's gonna be another busy day. We're gonna be going through this glacier part until probably noon, and then we're heading to Icy Strait Point, where we're gonna stop around 5 p.m. We have a hike planned in the evening, so a lot of things to see, a lot of videos to take, a lot of steps to walk. Talk to you later. Oh, and what an exciting day that ended up being. The more we're sailing and the closer we're getting to the Glacier Bay, the more beautiful the views became. It was almost surreal at times. The color of the water changed. Even the texture of the water, I think, changed because you could see the traces that the ship left in the water. You could tell that the water is very, very cold. At some point, it was almost like we were sailing through honey. And we also started seeing a lot of wildlife. It was also colder and colder, so that was a bit of a problem, and very windy, but the ocean was very smooth and everything was so beautiful and exciting that you almost forgot about the cold for a minute.
and to share stewardship with those who have lived here since time immemorial, or time before memory, that being the Hunefingets. Joining me today on the ship is Ranger Haley, who will be running the Ranger Dust in the crow's nest on deck 11, as well as Alaska Geographic Association. And we have Jen today, who will be running the pet bookstore.
After a quick hot tea break, it was time to go back outside and try to spot some more wildlife. And here you're seeing a little seal floating on a piece of ice. Also, we started seeing a lot of sea otters. At some point, there were so many, I thought there were some pieces of wood floating on the water, but no, actually the park rangers told us that there are sea otters floating together on the water. What I really like to commend Holland Americas for is actually bringing these Glacier Bay National Park rangers to tell us about the park, the history. I thought it was very interesting. It wasn't just, okay, here's something beautiful to look at. They actually explained things to us, and I really appreciated that. And here you're able to see what I was saying earlier about the water. It almost looked like it was thick.
We are now in view of Reed Glacier in Reed Inlet. And to celebrate one of our first glacier viewings in Glacier Bay, I'd like to talk a little bit and celebrate another glacier that was quite notable quite some time ago. Named after John Muir, the Muir Glacier was once said to be 250 to 400 feet high and at least a mile and a half wide in size, according to Professor Hugh Frederick Wright in 1886. Muir Glacier now sits at half a mile wide and only about 13 inches long, and is no longer considered a tidewater glacier. to our 11 o'clock. I see 2 wolves report 1 o'clock, I'm sorry, 2 wolves. There is a mound with water. The 2 wolves are in the vegetation, if you can see, to the left of that mound. There's 3, there's 1 white, there's a darker one, a lighter one. There's 4 wolves back there. You can see them moving on the gravel, where the gravel and the vegetation meet. There's 5 wolves. See 5. I do have to say this is a really, really rare treat. Some rangers are here for multiple seasons and don't see wolves. So the fact that we see a gray wolf pack is really quite wonderful. And we're so fortunate to have Ranger Haley here with us today.
And after staring for about 5 minutes and zooming as far as I could on my phone, I was able to see the wolves. They're on that gravel side on the right side of the screen. And then it was time to go warm up once again. The temperature during the day was somewhere between 40 and 50 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 5 to 10 degrees Celsius. So if you stayed out too long, you really had to go warm up once in a while.
First of all, I'd like to say congratulations. Together, we have traveled about 65 miles up the bay. As we're preparing to stop, we are at the end of Tar Inlet. And if you look front of the bow to Grand Pacific Glacier, less than a mile from where the glacier sits is the Canadian border. Don't worry, you won't need your passports right now. It's here that we'll be stopping for about 20 to 30 minutes on each side of the ship so that we enjoy this time together. I strongly recommend going outside to get the best view.
On that day, this Marjorie Glacier was calving, but every time I would grab my camera, it would stop, and then as soon as I put it away, it would do it again. In this clip, you can see a little bit the aftermath of the calving with some waves being formed by the ice that fell in the water. Finally, the sun is up. Hopefully it stays that way. It is very cold. It was windy. Right now we stopped because of the glacier on the other side of the boat, which I will show you in the video. I'm gonna go probably try to go to the room. I need to warm up, and plus this view I can get from our balcony as well. So, see you in a minute. But of course, on the way to the cabin, the ship started turning around, so I had to take a couple more videos, and then I went to meet my friend for lunch. Just finished lunch. We sat at a table with a couple couples, so I didn't do any kind of vlogging. But now I'm just gonna walk around, maybe go upstairs. I think it started raining. And I might take a nap before we head out to the excursion. So talk to you later. Once I got to the cabin, I decided to go quickly to the balcony. And when I was on the balcony, I noticed that we had a bunch of sea otters just swimming around the ship. And then as I was just staring, all of a sudden, what do I see? On the left side, a little whale, and that made my day. We have finally got off the boat in Icy Strait Point. Still have a few minutes until we need to meet with our excursion guide. So we're gonna hang out around this port. It's pretty interesting. It's like a cabin in the mountains, which I guess makes sense. So see you all on a hike. Bye. Icy Strait Point is only a cruise ship stop, it's not an actual town. It does feature some activities such as the world's longest zip rider, some rope courses, and a few restaurants and bars.
In Southeast Alaska in about 3 or 4 years due to our sea otter population. Sea otters were hunted almost into extinction during the fur trade, and then they got on the protected list. And now they're so cute, no one wants to unprotect them, but they come in and they decimate populations of shellfish. Now this is a 1.5 mile walk into the town of Hoona. Most people back in the day when the cannery was still operational had to make that walk because most of the town used to work back in the cannery. What we're going into right now is actually what's called the tunnel.
Hoona is the largest Tlingit tribe settlement in southeast Alaska, and it was established in 1754 when the Hoona Tlingit tribe moved from Glacier Bay to this area. One fun fact about this Hoona town is that it has 886 people. However, the forest around it has around 4,000 brown bears. And initially when you hear there are bears in the woods, you think, okay, that's normal. But when you see one of the tour guides wearing hunting gear and actually being ready to protect us if anything happens, it becomes real. And then you see bear poop all over the trail. We're lucky not to run directly into a bear, but chances are there were bears around the trail. I'm not telling you this to scare you, but this hike had quite a bit of excitement, if I may say so. It was an amazing hike, very beautiful views. I don't regret doing it. I might even do it again if I have the chance. But yeah, that's one thing you have to keep in mind. Wildlife is everywhere in Alaska.
happens here is that we have something called secondary forest or secondary growth. Have fun, set your parameters. You're welcome to go out here. Do not go past the logs into the bushes. Watch your steps. Wetwood can be slippery. There are holes.
We are back from the hiking trip. We're about to get back on board. It was a very beautiful hike. We learned a lot about this place. And now back to the ship for a drink or two.